Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live paint along tonight. It has been so long. I'm excited to hang out with you guys tonight. We have Michael working the cameras. And tonight we are painting our Let's Make Art Matter postcard for August. This postcard is going to Annalyse Cameo. And this is what we're painting tonight. So I believe that the amazing Hadley has already put the supplies that we're using in the comments. So you guys can take a peek there.
Excellent.
And Diane says it's her first time from Australia. Welcome, Diane. Thank you so much for joining in. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Leslie. So nice to see you guys. Dana, what a treat. What a treat just to hang out with you.
Oh, hi, everybody.
I am looking like I just came from soccer because I did.
That's awesome.
I'm coaching another team in Cameron, which is the town next over. So I zipped on over here and yeah, but that's fine because we're just hanging out and having fun and painting. So I'm excited. After we paint our postcard, I'm going to show you guys what we have coming up for September. And that's about it. Just a cool night.
That sounds great.
Great.
Yeah. Is this big light on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's on.
Let's do it.
Okay. Karen says, hello, everybody. Rose from Finger Lakes. Melissa. You guys, stop it. Leslie from Texas. Y'all being so nice. Okay. We're going to be doing this project in 4 steps. The first step is we are just going to do a solid background. Our second step is we are going to do our leaves. Our third step is we'll do our flowers. And our fourth step is just details. That's it.
That's a piece of cake.
I really like this project because if you look closely, like the leaves are not totally leaf shape. The flowers are not totally flower shape. It is very loose. It's gestural. It is fun. We're going to talk about composition a little bit, but I wanted to do a project that just felt like a way for you to play with your brushes and the different strokes that you can get. And at the end of it, I have something that's like pretty. That's all.
Well, it worked.
Okay. Kristen said she and her daughter are here and they're so excited. Oh, with their favorite art teacher. You guys are making me blush. Oh my goodness. Okay. Before we get started painting, let's do our oath. So if everyone can raise their right hand and repeat after me. I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise not to compare my work.
I promise not to compare my work.
And I promise to have fun.
I promise to have fun.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our postcard is going to Annalyse and Cameo. If you're unfamiliar with our Let's Make Art Matter program, what we do is every month we get together and we paint a postcard. This is kind of the first one we've done since summer break because we've been traveling and I'm really excited to be back with you guys. And our whole point is to essentially let people know that they have a community rallying for them. The reality is life has ups and downs. And so I feel like we don't necessarily have the right words to say when there is someone who's experiencing grief or pain or a difficult time. A lot of the times we tend to stop communicating because we're not entirely sure what to say and we're afraid to say the wrong thing. But I've learned that whenever I was afraid to say something, but if I painted them something, that actually was my way of showing them that I was thinking about them. And I feel like that there is something powerful about a community coming together and using art to connect. So even if you haven't purchased the August digital pack, we love for you guys to participate in this. This is why we do it live and on Facebook and YouTube, so anyone can join. And if you would like the address to send to Annalyse Cameo, email us at hello@letsmakeart.com. They experienced a loved one's death by suicide last year, which is a heartbreaking thing. That is something that has affected me. I think it's pretty prevalent. And so we just want to send them postcards to let them know we're thinking about them. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So for our very first step, I want you to take any size brush. You can do I just wanted it to be a larger brush, and we're just gonna do like this really pretty purpley blue background. Now you'll notice that my painting here is looking pretty opaque. That means you cannot see through it. And that's because I was pretty liberal with my use of bleed-proof white
Nice.
in this project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my large brush, and I'm going to grab some cobalt blue, some opera pink, and I'm just going to start painting.
What a great color.
Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
And then to get, okay, and this is the really fun thing too, is just like, if you can change this background color to be whatever you want. So let's say you don't really love that kind of like lilac-y color. You can do it pink, you can do it green. Like you can do anything. You can do a tan, like anything you want. And then the next thing I'm gonna do to make it a bit more opaque is I'm gonna take some cobalt and some bleed-proof white. And I'm gonna introduce that to my paper.
Who needs gouache?
Who needs gouache when you can just make everything gouache? And with this bleed-proof white, you can decide how light you want it to be. I'm going for, this is like a medium value. Okay. I like that.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in leaves. Now for me, I'm fine with these leaves having a little bit of like bleeding happening, and that's why I'm not going to dry this. If you do not want any bleeding happening, then you can dry yours using a heated craft tool. And I'm going to start putting in my leaves. Now, I'm just going to explain to you my mental process so then you can kind of see what I'm doing, which is when I start to put in leaves, I'm going to think about the composition. And so I have all of these branches kind of coming in here, but I want it to feel almost like an even pattern and not necessarily like all of these branches just pointing towards the center. So I always start with one kind of coming up here on the left.
You scooch that up a skosh.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right there. Okay. And then let's have one kind of coming up on the right. And then I like it sometimes to have it like go across the whole thing. Like pretend these are the vines, and then the leaves are going to kind of come off of that. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just doing this here, so then when I start to put in leaves, you guys can picture like the lines that I'm following, because I don't draw the lines first. If I drew the lines first, then that line would fuzz out and my stems would be really thick, and I like thin lines for my stems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's have another swoop go here. Maybe we're going to have one go this way, maybe here. Maybe we have like a branch off here. Okay, you see that?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to do is do fairly even spacing between the branches, but still have it be filled. You can always like add more if you want. And I'm going to use Q Gold and Phthalo Blue and a little bit of Undersea Green. Those are my three go-to colors when I'm doing greens. I love the vibrant green that I can mix with my Phthalo and Q Gold. And the Undersea is just like this really nice earthy green. Okay, now I'm going to take my dagger brush. A dagger brush is basically a brush that starts out wider at the bottom and then it angles at the top. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
See how it looks uneven?
Like a dagger.
Like a dagger. And the cool thing about this brush, and I will show you on this postcard, is you can do really thin lines and then do a nice thick body. So you can get some gorgeous leaves. So I'm just going to take some random colors, Q Gold, Phthalo, Undersea Green, and I'm going to kind of start to put in curves for my leaves. And I'm going to let the leaves get a little bit smaller as I work my way up the stem. So you can see that it's kind of bleeding and fuzzing out. I'm not mad about that. I kind of like that texture. But you can kind of understand that I'm loosely following this composition that I sketched out on the left. When I made this project originally, I was able to picture that all in my head. I didn't have to sketch anything out. I could like visually place things. But if you struggle with doing that, which is totally fine, then what you can do is you can sketch it out on another piece of paper and just kind of refer to it. Teresa, it's so nice to see you. Okay. What? I feel like I had to like focus back in. Be like, oh yeah, I'm teaching. And look I just want to point out, my leaf shapes are super weird. That's the point of this project. I am not going for the traditional thin start, thick body, and then pointy tip. I'm just doing like almost like dashes almost, like really just like loose and playful. It's gonna kind of bleed out anyway. I'm grabbing different colors. We can shape them a little bit more later. I'm not gonna worry about that. Again, I guess I want to give you guys permission to explore different brush strokes, textures, and colors, because how this is laid out with us basically doing like stems with green things on it and then like purple, pink ends, people are going to know those are like flowers and leaves. It really like, look up close on this. Like, this is not leaf shape. Like, look at that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to give you a little bit of freedom here. Let's do one kind of coming up this way. I do like to let my leaves get a little bit thinner at the top or smaller. Anita, hello from Minnesota. Hello.
Every time I hear Minnesota, I want to say it like they do in the TV show Fargo. Minnesota.
We've been together too long.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever been to Minnesota.
No.
Minnesota.
Should we visit? Should we visit Minnesota?
Probably should go to Minnesota.
Should we go?
I think we're getting Canadian. Minnesotans are almost Canadians, I think. They're like right on the border.
Yeah.
I need to look at a map.
Don't ask me. I'm trusting you completely and blindly. Darlene says, thank you to everyone who sent cards to Doug and Norma last month. They were so touched by your kindness. Thank you. Thank you for giving us that update, Darlene. Okay, I'm still trekking on. Just put it on leaves, kind of until I feel like it is good. One thing that I'm noticing that I'm going to call out is if you look at it, I'm kind of creating implied lines in my composition through my use of color. I'm only so far doing yellow on the bottom, and it's kind of just staying dark green along the top. I don't really want an implied line in my composition, so as soon as I notice that, I just go, oh, let's do more yellow. 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 And you can see, depending on where I am on the paper, some of it is fuzzing out a lot, some not very much at all. That's okay. None of this is bad or wrong.
Oh, Tammy says she broke her wrist and can't paint.
Oh, Tammy!
Tragedy. You gotta stop skateboarding.
That's awful. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding some of my flowers. Again, very aware of the fact that my painting is a little bit wet. We're going to use some Q purple, opera pink. I mean, you guys can decide the color of your flowers for sure. And when I do flowers, like sometimes you could do like a roundish shape. I kind of like this kind of like teardrop shape. Oh, that got big. Ooh, I like it though.
It's staying.
It's staying. I'm going to keep that. Maybe we'll do little ones over here. So I'm just kind of doing flowers at the end, but flowers, because this is such like a loose painting, we're not recreating a certain type of flower. So you can have flowers just coming at the end. You can have it coming up the vine, like throughout the whole thing. There's no right or wrong. You can switch up the colors. So let's say we do some in opera pink. Opera pink.
I'm trying out new melodies. Not going to be it?
No, don't do that. I'm just kidding.
You ever paint lefty, Sarah? They're talking about because of the broken wrist. Someone said paint with the other hand. Have you ever tried that?
No, let's try it. my gosh, this is really hard.
You guys, I don't know if you know this, but on the Let's Make Art website, when you're watching videos, I built a little tool called Lefty Mode. So if you're left-handed, it flips Sarah's painting so you can like follow her exactly, so it looks like she's left-handed.
I can't do it. I'm switching back.
All right.
Sorry. I thought I was strong and then I could handle it, but I can't. I'm going to mix some bleed proof white with my Hansa yellow to get like a bright yellow. Maybe a little bit of opera pink too for orange. Sometimes I like to put that right in the middle of the purple. It's so, okay. I really love when like yellow and purple are next to each other. They're complementary colors. They kind of work back and forth from each other. Okay, that feels really good. And now what I'm going to do, and I can see that I obviously have some gaps in my composition. There's way more activity happening on the top left than the bottom. However, I still have things to put in like a butterfly. You know, you can do cute little bugs if you want. You can do little floating leaves, really whatever you want. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll get started like so. And instead of thinking, I need to put in all of my leaves now, I'm going to say, let's start putting in some details and then I'll see where my composition is and I can always adjust from there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use my Heat It craft tool.
What brand Dagger is that?
This is actually a Let's Make Art brush that we sold a few years ago. But there is something, I think Princeton has one Velvet Touch one. Princeton Velvet Touch quarter inch dagger. It's probably what you're going to want to look for.
We usually cut this part out of tutorials.
The drying. Michael, I don't know if you saw, but one day when Arlo was painting with me and I was like just filming our voices, I was drying something and he was like, can I dry it? I'm like, sure. And he puts his hand, he's like, I want to feel it. And he puts it and he goes, oh my gosh, that's hot.
Dude's so cute.
So cute. The kids just started school.
It's happy and sad.
Yeah.
Every year they go into a new grade. I'm just sad that they get so big so quick, but also, you know, thrilled they're in school again.
Thrilled to have routine.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because when it's time to get out of school, I'm like, I cannot wait for them to be home for the summer. And then when summer's over, I'm like, let's get back to school. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to a liner brush, and this is where I'm going to start putting in my stems or branches or whatever you want to call them. So you don't have to have them go directly in the middle, like on top of everything, because if you think about stems, they're three-dimensional. Leaves and flowers grow around them, not just on the side of them. Our brain likes to make pictures of flowers and leaves where they're just symmetrical on each stem, like this, okay? But the reality is that they are going to like be around it. So when you do your stem, you are going to, if there's a leaf like that's clearly in front, like this guy, then I'll start my stem above it. Okay. Then this one can go this way. And sometimes the leaves are going to be in front of it. Sometimes they're not. That's fine. We can have one come this way. Okay.
Said Arlo needs a Ranger sponsorship. Just saying. They should just put, oh my gosh, that's hot on the box.
But it wasn't even, he just said, oh my gosh. Okay, now here I'm just like, where were my stems? Where are my leaves? I'm just going off vibes. Let's do one here. Let's do this one here. Okay, now that I have a little bit more structure with the added stems, I can have a better understanding of my composition altogether. I kind of want another thing coming up this way. It doesn't have to activate the entire space, but just some of it. So I can have another little branch come off. Do that. And then we can do some leaves. that. And maybe we have another little guy peeking this way. Maybe one. Let's do one. I'm trying to decide if I want it to go down or up. I don't want it to go straight across, so let's just do a soft curve like that. Maybe we'll do, oh, boop. And then sometimes if there's not enough room to do like a full stem leaf area, you can just do a flower. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, now what I can do with my liner too is I can start to add leaf lines or shape some of my leaves that have kind of like diffused out quite a bit. Like these guys right here are looking a little bit like, whoa, what's happening there? Which honestly, I think this texture is pretty cool. So it doesn't bother me, but if I want to kind of rein it in a little bit, then I can say, all right, let's get a dark green here. I'm still using my liner brush and I can just shape this leaf. And when you shape leaves, you don't have to just go around the perimeter of the color that it diffused out to. Instead, you can just draw right on top of that area. And now people are like, oh, those are leaves. And you go, yeah, those are leaves.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. They were always leaves. You can just add a vein, or maybe you just want to add like a little bit of another color, like a dark green. I kind of like the idea of this one kind of bending back a little bit. But only if that leaf is kind of doing that shape already does that maybe make sense too. I really like the movement of this one, so I'm not going to touch that one. Usually if I really like what a leaf is doing, even if it's a little bit wonky, I won't touch it. Because I just go, that's pretty cool. You can just add veins on some of these.
When I was in college, in biology, it was always a rule if you saw a flower that you liked, not to pick it, because
Aww.
that flower would repopulate and make more of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of like your technique for leaves. Leave that one.
exactly. And also, like, what if some of your flowers don't connect to veins or to veins, to vines or leaves? That's okay. This is again like super loose. And then if you wanted, you can even just draw leaves without, like, let's say I wanted to add a leaf right here. I can just draw it. You don't have to like fill it in. Like this really is just like playful. Okay. And this is a really cool thing about gouache. Now this is where you guys can get a little bit brave if you want to, or you don't have to. I just want to show you the options. So the only thing, like this is feeling really good, but something that's kind of like bothering me a little bit is how close this is to this. There's not really any other elements that are this close, and it's right in the center. So it just makes it feel super active right here. Like all of my attention goes right here. Where I feel like if I maybe had a little bit of breathing room between those two things, it wouldn't feel quite as activating. Okay. So something that you can do if you're feeling edgy is you can just use your bleed proof white and your blue and cover it up. Now the risk is that it's going to be a different mixture. Should we risk it?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. Let's just try it.
It looks so much different when it's dark. Someone said, rewind to the beginning. Is there a quick secret to getting the background so smooth? Just like making it pretty wet?
Yeah.
Lots of brush strokes?
Yeah. And using a bigger brush so you can work faster. Sorry, I'm trying to think about color matching. Yeah, working fairly quickly, getting it wet, and then like doing brush strokes going a lot of different directions. If you do brush strokes just going one way the whole time, then you can get lines in between those brush strokes a little bit. And so if you do it all different directions, then it kind of smooths it out. Now you can see here that my leaves were wet. I should have dried it beforehand.
I think it's lovely.
I'm trying to decide if I want to just continue to try to color match it, if I want to start over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me just keep working on it for a minute. Getting a little bit closer. No.
I like it.
I know what to do.
What?
We're just gonna cover over it. You guys ready? But I'm gonna do basically what I just did, but fast, like double speed.
Okay.
Okay. Go. Ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure this horrified some people, but this is the beauty of painting, I think, you know?
What do you mean it like horrified to cover it?
Yeah, because like you're like, oh, I'm attached to that leaf. I like the shape of this. I like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are things you liked about this, but also you can just repaint it.
The thing with artwork, and this is what's super interesting, is you are going to paint and fall in love with some aspects of your painting, but there has to be moments where you guys are willing to like tear up your painting. Because, and the reason why things like this are important is because if you do not take the time to learn how to mess up your painting on purpose, to ruin it, to tear it, to rip it up, all of those things, then you will always be afraid of your painting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what I did is I wiped off the excess paint here because there was a lot of wet paint, a lot of bleed proof white. And sometimes if you just have so much paint, then it's really hard to get an opaque layer over it, even using gouache.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll just wipe away the excess. Okay.
It's that old saying, I think, about what you're saying about the paintings. Do you own it or does it own you? You know,
Oh,
about like your
yes.
things. I think that a lot because sometimes I get like so obsessive about like a guitar or something that like it owns me, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good mindset to try to at least be thoughtful about.
Okay. Now I'm going to start adding some blue. This new color might have more of a turquoise to it because of the green. That's fine. I actually like that color a lot. Trying to decide if I should add a hint of purple with the... Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my dagger. I'm going to start putting in leaves. Again, kind of following the structure that I've already laid out for you guys. I'm also using quite a bit of paint, just to warn you. I'm just being a little crazy tonight.
Why not?
Why not?
It's a crazy Tuesday.
Teresa says, I love when you show the real working of a mistake. I'm so glad that you like that because in my head, I'm like, Sarah, you really messed it up. Nobody's going to listen to you now. But the reality is, like, I mean, and for those who are doing the journal course, you see it in real time. I question myself, I pause and try and think what I should do. I take break. You know what I mean? Like So much of it is just trying something. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Over time, you'll learn the difference between something that's worth fixing and not fixing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because I remember how close those things were, I'm trying to be more intentional about placement.
Make the same exact mistake. Paint it
I
the
would
exact
too.
same
I
way.
absolutely would. What if you, and then this goes on for 3 hours and it's just me painting it over and over again?
The background color gets weirder and weirder.
Boom, that feels good. Let's do some this way. Okay. All right, now I'm going to let that dry.
I like the color of these leaves a lot. You got some good leaf textures.
Yeah. And honestly, I really like this kind of minty background.
Yeah.
It's not as purple as the original one, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think it looks really nice next to the greens and the golds.
Sarah's asking why you started over. Because you tried to correct a mistake and it didn't go well, so we thought, why not?
Okay, yes. So the reason why I started over is because I was trying to cover up an area with the background color. It did not go well. So then it was just this huge blotch in the middle of the painting that was like a different color.
Ralph said that you should have just made it a shadow.
There's so many things I could have done. And sometimes I'm just like, we're just going to start over. We're just going to start over.
All right. If the designer of the Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro ISO happens to be watching, I have a small complaint. Why is the picture-in-picture and the camera switch button two separate buttons, and I have to stretch my thumb and my pinky so far to hit them at the same time? Please write me back.
That sounds awful.
So I can complain.
Okay, now I'm going to take my liner and start doing the branches.
For your green, people want to know if you added bleed-proof white to it since it's going over kind of like your fake gouache.
That's a great question. I did not, but because the background had so much bleed-proof white on it, the bleed-proof white automatically absorbed into the green when I painted it, especially because the background was white.
Got you.
Okay, it's a good start. Now let's add some flowers. Let's get some clean water. Okay, so there's like pink underneath here that you can see. I think that was when I added opera pink. So I'm just gonna like lean into that and do a little flower there. I also thought it'd be cute if you did hearts as your flowers because we're sending love.
That is so cute. Kimberly says if I'm annoyed about the stretch of my hand that I should try to play bassoon. And I got to tell you, Kimberly, I think bassoons and oboes are some of my favorite instruments to listen to.
Oh.
Fun fact. I actually wanted to buy an oboe to learn how to play oboe, but like a student oboe is thousands of dollars, even for an entry oboe.
You looked into buying an oboe?
I know.
And this is what I love about you.
You know I
did.
did. You know I did because I thought I found one at the West Bottoms thrift shop. Remember? And I was so thrilled, but it was all cracked up.
Yes, I do remember that. Okay, I'm just adding more yellow in here because I just like that hint of yellow. And we can start kind of filling the space a little bit more now that I have a better understanding of the structure. And don't be afraid, like, the worst that can happen is you have to cover it up and start again. The worst that can happen is you get a new piece of paper. Like, as you can see, the stakes are low. And when you're able to paint with a little bit more freedom, I really feel like that's when we do our best work. So that's why it's important to be willing to mess up your painting on purpose, because that's when you know that you can paint with freedom. Compositionally, this is feeling much better to me. The other ones, it was just like touching a bit too much. The other thing about this project is it's really hard to overwork it. More is better in this one. So the more details you want to add, the more stems and leaves you want to add, like the more flowers, the more butterflies, it just adds to it. Just make sure that the areas are balanced. And how I like to check to see if areas are balanced is I always look for diagonal friends between elements. So if I have a yellow here and a yellow here, those are diagonal and they're friends because they're the same color. The next time I see this color is over here. If I were to only see this color right here, right here, right here, that is not diagonal friends. That is straight line friends, which is not bad, but that creates an implied line in your composition. So if I add a yellow or a blue or a purple, I'm just saying, where's my diagonal friend to that element? And that is how you can help balance things as you add. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Dana says, why do both of your voices get super loud at various intervals?
I don't know.
I don't know, but if you hear it, let us know.
It's running a compressor. It shouldn't. We do get very animated talking, but the compressor should level our voices out.
Was I talking about croissants, Dana? Because I probably just was excited.
Dana, look around. Do you have a cat walking back and forth over your volume? That will do it.
The cat's just sitting there like pawing at it.
In my experience. Yeah, people are talking about oboes and bassoons. Oboes are expensive, I think, because they carve it out of it's this beautiful wood called African blackwood. And it's like, very rare. And that's what makes them expensive because a lot of them crack during the manufacture of it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, I'm starting to add some outlines to some of these leaves. Again, just because it's there, that doesn't mean it needs to have an outline or a vein. I like to do it just here and there. And then let's do some bleed proof white and opera pink and Hansa yellow, just some yellows in there. Got a little bit too bright. Or you can do some just this color, little hearts. I like the idea of doing heart flowers. That feels right. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add little butterflies. I think actually, Michael, I have found another nemesis when it comes to painting. So for years, my painting subject that was my nemesis was a cat. Now I feel like I've been forcing myself to do cats because I'm like, you will not beat me. I have recently learned I cannot draw a butterfly. I don't know what it is. It's just like the wings are always they're never symmetrical. And then they're not round enough. I don't know. So anyways, when I do butterflies here, I'm going to freehand it, but I'm going to like really accentuate the shape because I really struggle. So I'm going to do kind of a oval and then a smaller oval. And that's it. That's my little butterfly.
Love it.
I just can't master them. I really think I need to like practice it a little bit. And then I'm going to add some like blue along the edges so I can just get like a little bit of different colors happening there.
I found the volume problem.
What is it?
Well, we use a program called Restream so that we can stream this to like multiple things at once, like YouTube and Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And Restream updates itself all the time, and I never bother to look into any of that because I just use one small part. In audio, there's a button that says, quote, auto gain control. And so when we don't talk for a second, it pumps the microphone, it like cranks it up because it's like they're just talking quiet, I bet.
Oh.
And then when we talk again, I think it's loud.
So we have to constantly be talking, is what you're saying.
No, I just turned that off. I just turned this in.
Okay, I just add little butterflies. If you want it to look like we're seeing it from an angle, then you do one half of it normal, and then the other half is the same shape, but thinner. So then it looks like the wing is foreshortened.
People are offering to be each other's diagonal friends.
That's so cute. I'll be your guys' diagonal friend.
This Sarah says, just paint butterflies from the side. Then you don't have to worry if they're symmetrical.
Honestly, that has like what I've been trying to do, because I think it was in my journal painting. I did like a monarch on like in a field, like on a piece of grass. And when you guys see that journal video, you're gonna laugh at how many times I like reshaped that butterfly, because I just was like, what is happening here? Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of, you can mix all of the colors together to get a black. If you just have some lamp black, you can use lamp black. There's a good chance I did not put that on the supplies list, so sorry, but I'm gonna grab a little bit of black. I'm gonna do the thin little body. And if you feel like you wanna do a little detail marks, you can. Remember, these butterflies are pretty tiny, so you might not really see the veining, but you might see that black edge. Okay. That feels really good. I think I'm gonna do a couple more flowers in some opera pink. I want kind of a brighter pink. Yeah, Dana says that's better.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dana.
Why do they hide those settings? Why not put that right out front if you're going to turn it on, you know?
I don't know.
Restream. Listen, if the creative Restream is watching this, come on.
They just happen to be tuning in.
Send me an email. Let's talk.
I'm just going to do little hearts throughout here instead of flowers, maybe.
Little hearts just look like smaller butterflies.
They do, aren't they cute?
Yeah.
Well, that one bled a lot. That's all right. And then if you want, if some of your leaves get really dark, you can use bleed-proof white and mix that with a color. And you can do some light, like white veins on it, like so, to shape it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only going to stand out if the leaf is dark. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just kind of going through and adding some smaller, just kind of filling up space. Activating space, as I would like to say. It's good. Feels good. Okay. That feels good.
Start over again. Davey said, how about splatters?
How about what?
Splatters.
Oh, yeah. Pretty splatters.
That's space activating.
You can also, if you want, like if you really are struggling with the shape of leaves, if you want to take a black pen and outline some of this, that would be really pretty. But I want to give you guys permission to play. And a lot of times what's really good for my creativity is being willing to make a really weird leaf and be okay with it and not trying to have every leaf be perfect. It's really amazing what our brains will pick up and create with very little information, okay? So sometimes we really feel like we have to like do everything perfectly in order for somebody else to understand what's happening on our painting. But I have found that when you do that, you're not leaving room for mood. You're not leaving room for emotion. You're not leaving room for all of these things that are the elements that actually connect our humanity to the art that we're seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your mother says she loves it.
Who does?
Kelly.
My mom. Thanks, Mom.
You know you made it when your mom likes your art, you know?
My mom likes likes my art. Dana says she likes the way that the blue pops on the butterfly. I do too. I got a tiny, tiny bit of bleeding. You can see that right there. I'm not mad about it though. I mean, it's very minimal considering how many layers of paint I put on here. Look at that. That looks great.
Gorgeous.
That looks great. Okay. So this was the original where we had a bit more purpley. You can see this one leans a bit more turquoise. There's room for both, and there's room for any adjustments that you want to make to yours. Again, this postcard is going to Annalyse. Annalyse, I think, is 11 now. She is someone who loves art, and art has always been a really safe space for her to create and to unwind and to work through feelings and all of this kind of stuff. So we just wanted to send these postcards to Annalyse. Just let her know that we're thinking about her. And if there is someone that you guys know that you think could benefit from receiving an art hug from the llama community, you can go to letsmakeart.com and find our nomination sheet. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk about September.
All right.
You guys ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Okay. So, my birthday month is September.
Turning 27.
Yes, I am turning 27 plus 10. And okay, I was thinking through what I wanted the theme to be for this month coming up. And I was thinking back on themes that we've done and all of that kind of stuff. And I thought, wouldn't it be so great if we were able to revisit some themes that we've already done? And hitherto, therefore, the theme of this month is Sarah's favorite themes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I like it.
I'm really excited about it.
If you don't like it, you can go away. It's my birthday month.
It's my birthday. But sometimes we kind of all jump down these like rabbit holes of different themes. And then we're just like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun painting that. And I will say that the hardest thing when I'm a teacher is like, once I've done a theme, I don't feel like I can revisit it. Even though I'm like, that was so fun. And there was like so many more projects we can do. And so that's why with this month, I was just like, I'm going to revisit some of these themes. Okay.
It's just all Halloween. I'm just kidding.
I thought about that actually. I almost did that. Okay. So our very first project, Michael, let's see if you can guess this theme.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready? Drum roll. Go. Well, that would be Pablo Picasso, correct? Just kidding. Claude Monet.
Yes, we
Lily
are.
pads.
We are doing Monet, and this is actually one of my favorite Monet paintings. There's very little lily pads in it. It is mostly clouds and sky. And when I did the Monet course, I almost did this project as one of the main projects. Like I painted it and everything, and then I decided, no, we're gonna really focus on water lilies. So when I was just like, I have been wanting to paint this project. I've thought about putting it in the archive. Like it has been swirling around in my head since we did the Monet box. So I'm so excited that we get to do another Monet together. And it's one of my favorite paintings that he's done, and it's of clouds. And that's what this one is called, actually, the clouds, but in French.
Les clouds. Yeah. My French is rusty, but Les clouds, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Michael.
Yes.
This is going to be a tricky one.
Okay.
We're going to see if you can get this theme. All right?
This is hard because when we film, I usually just play a voice recording of myself and nap. So, like, during filming, it's just me going, uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh.
Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be funny.
I think you just talked yourself out of a job, honey.
Okay.
Okay. Our second theme that we will be exploring again. Let's see if Michael can.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
All right, go. Oh, well, this reminds me a lot of the Anne of Green Gables box. So I would say maybe something literary.
Yes. Good job.
Yeah. Well, when you sleep, I read your mind. It's not creepy.
I actually talk in my sleep.
Yeah.
You knew all of these before I even said it.
Quiz you in the morning.
So we're revisiting book club. This book that we are painting is Secret Garden. It's one of my daughter's favorite books. I read it to her many, many times. And I am actually really, yes, Gabby guessed it. She
Yeah,
said
Gabby got it.
Secret Garden.
Impressive.
Yes. Um, I loved doing this painting. This is actually one of those paintings when I was done with it, I was like, oh, dang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you watch The Secret Garden as a kid? It was like kind of an older movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that movie, and in adulthood, I really loved reading the book to my daughter. So we have to visit it. And so this is our book club Secret Garden theme. The other kind of special thing that we will be doing for September, the month of September, is I am going to be talking about our public libraries quite a bit. I am on a board called Friends of the Library, where we basically try and bring in money for the library because libraries actually can't fundraise. I don't know if you guys know that. They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, due to a lot of cutbacks in budgets, libraries are kind of suffering a little bit. And our cute little town library, like our librarian has been taking pay cut after pay cut, so then they can still put forth a good program for our community. And so I'm on the Friends of the Library, where our job is to raise awareness about the library, say how great it is, and hopefully get people to be willing to donate to support it, so then it can continue to serve our community. And I'm super, super passionate about libraries. So I'm going to be talking about this all month. So get ready. Okay. I'm just warning you now.
Melanie says the library is her diagonal friend.
The library is everybody's diagonal friend, okay?
Yeah.
And that is why they are so important. Every single person is welcome at a library. It's so unique within our society. It's so important, the access to education. I love it so much. And so while we do book club and Secret Garden, and for the month of September, I'm definitely going to be talking about that more. So hopefully you guys are okay with that.
All right.
Okay. Now, for the last project.
Okay.
I'm so excited about this one. Now, this is one we haven't done yet,
Okay.
but we will soon.
Okay.
Drum roll, please.
Ooh,
Atmospheric florals.
those are pretty.
I've been talking about this course for years. I've been dreaming about this course for years. I'm going to make this course, but I want to give you a little taste of it first. This has been on my mind. I am so excited to dive into this with you. And I know that it is going to be one of my favorite themes that I do for a course. And so I cannot wait to dive in. This is just the beginning. All right?
Yeah, that's stunning.
Oh, I'm so proud of this painting. I love it. I'm honestly proud of all three paintings. So again, just a reminder, for the month of September, we are doing Sarah's favorite themes. We have Monet with clouds. Ooh, ah.
Ooh, ah.
We have Secret Garden, Book Club,
Excellent.
and we have Atmospheric Florals.
Dang. Happy birthday, Sarah.
So this is the month. We will also have a bonus project, which you guys will see on release day. Okay?
It's crazy. You're only 23 years old this month and you're doing all of this art.
I know, 23 plus 14.
Yeah, 23 plus 14.
That's how old I am. Okay. Okay. That is it.
All right.
That is what we have. Just a reminder, just to go over some things. This project bundle will be available starting September 1st. It's going to be available only as a bundle during the month of September. Once September is over, these go into the vault and we'll start with the October projects. You have a few more days to get August. August projects have been so fun to see you guys do. We decided to go southwest, so we're doing more desert scenes. We have running horses and wild horses, and you guys have really been enjoying this month, which has been just so fun for me to see. I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you want to join in on that fun, you have until the end of August to get that project bundle. Once August is over, they go in the vault, and these projects will be available as a bundle. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Thank you guys. So, oh my gosh, you guys are so excited about these projects. This is great. Susan, Anita, Kara, Debbie, Wendy, all of them are like,
These are all just me on fake accounts
Teresa,
trying to make you feel better.
Michael, you're doing great. Oh, Gabby, that's so sweet. Hear me out. An art hug with a hidden $1 bill or hidden money for your librarian for
Yes.
September.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, you guys. I got plans, okay? I got plans for this library. I got plans for how we can help support it. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this community, for painting with me. It's the best job I could have ever dreamed of. And I'm really excited to dive into these projects with you. It's going to be a wonderful month. And I just couldn't envision doing anything different for my birthday than like painting along with you guys. So thank you so much. Again, if you need the address for Annalyse, you can email us at hello@letsmakeart.com. We will see you guys later. Thank you for being here tonight. I've missed ya. It's great to be back, and we'll see you later. Bye.